Hi, today I want to talk about one of my favorite topics, blended learning. Now, of course, we're an e-learning company, so we talk a lot about delivering content digitally, but as former instructors ourselves, we very much see the value of instructor-led, classroom-led or virtually led instructor-driven training. But actually, I believe that the best model is often the blended approach where you're using a hybrid of instructor-led courses as well as online delivered content and assessments and so forth. And this is the ideal kind of blended model which utilizes time most efficiently. So let's talk about some of the topics related to this. And I see it being broken into three phases. We've got something that's before the training, something that happens during the training, and the one that is often forgotten the most is what you can do after the training. So let's go through each of these in turn. So first of all, beforehand, so let's say you've got a course starting on Monday, then a week prior, you might send access to a learning management system or to a platform, or just share some content with the students if possible. So you might send, for instance, a biography of who's going to be facilitating the training to build up some authority there. You might even have the students complete a questionnaire. So asking them about what they expect to learn during the course, what are they hoping will be the outcomes, which might allow you to tailor the training to a certain extent to meet their expectations as well, which is a great way to make sure that you're doing what they want you to actually do during the training, within reason, of course. You might send them a short video telling them a little bit about what they can expect to. And you might also start doing things like pre-assessing or what I call preloading. So in the pre-assessment, we might send them a questionnaire or a quiz even, asking them about what they know about the specific topic, which might allow you to tailor the audience, tailor the content to the audience, because you might have a very wide skill gap there as well. And then that could lead into having a post-assessment to see, how much they started from and where they ended up. You might also give them some materials. So you might have a pre-reading list or an interactive module, which is, of course, something we specialize in, to deliver them some materials before they actually start the training, so that when they get there, they are as prepared as possible. So you might give them some more of the theory content, and then the instructor can talk more about that. And we'll talk about more of that in a second. You also might give them the course outline, the schedule, and so forth. So that's what you might do before you actually even start the training. So during the training, now you can, of course, utilize electronic tools, and a lot of people are more familiar with these now. So you might have in-classroom polls, of course. You might use a learning management system to give a quiz, so that can be automatically marked with question banks and so on, so save some of the paperwork. You might even take feedback immediately. So at the end of each day, you might have a very short survey form to get immediate feedback about the course, particularly if it's running over multiple days. So you can feed that back into the next day. If they particularly like a type of exercise, then you might tailor it in the following days to really hit the mark that they want to do. Many would have heard the idea of flipping the classroom, which comes from education, but you could apply the same in corporate or adult training as well. So you say, okay, tomorrow we're going to be covering this topic, so I want you to watch this YouTube video, go through this module, read this material, and tomorrow we're going to discuss it. So then what we're trying to do is optimize the time of the instructor as much as we can, which is highly valuable. So rather than them being a professor talking and going through bullet points, outlining or introducing a topic, instead you might have a video of that or a module of that. They learn all the theory concept, they come in, we have a very quick kind of refresh of what was covered in the materials, and then you can go on to the things that only an instructor can do. So you might have interactive scenarios, discussions, workshopping, group work, and so on. That is the most powerful things often that instructor can do. So get them learn the theory before and then put it into practice in the actual classroom. That's a very, very valuable way of doing it. And of course, at the end of the training, you might issue them a certificate on the platform too. So that's some of the things you might do during a training course. Now, this is what's often forgotten and a real lost opportunity sometimes, particularly for training companies. So after the course, depending upon how you set things up, I often advocate to having a ongoing value proposition with someone that's learned, with you. So rather than once they finish, they've gotten the certificate, then walking away and that's it, why don't you give them more value? And this will help to separate you from competitors as well. So you give them access perhaps to your system, your learning management system, where they can get access to more materials and so on. You might do what sometimes called external feedback, where you're giving both the learners a questionnaire 1 month later or a period later to determine how much you're actually applying what you train them. And you might even send that to their supervisors, and you can ask the question, how much do they benefit from the training? Has, if it's a soft skills course, and how much have they improved in a particular area or sales or whatever it might be, and to get that external validation of what was covered during the training. And then you can really quantify and give an ROI to the training that you provided. That's very, very valuable. And if you've given them access to a platform, then you might give them other resources. So you might update materials, send it to them. They get the training materials all in one location for them. You might provide even support. So for instance, you might have weekly chat sessions. So every Wednesday, one of our experts will be online at 1 to 3 p.m. and you can jump on there and ask them any questions you might have, if you can support that. You might have a forum, which is a great way of facilitating the learner-led or social learning. So someone will ask a question, another student will answer the question, and then the facilitator just comes in and goes, yes, but also think about this. So it's a great way of encouraging that social learning as well. And you might also have like monthly webinars, for instance, where you're covering hot topics and you're providing that for free or as part of the ongoing subscription service that you have. So that covers a few of the ideas that you might do after a course. So you've got value that you can do before, during, and after a training content by applying digital methodologies, learning management systems, delivery of content to really optimize training to either increase the outcomes from the course, get them to learn more, or reduce the actual training time, which of course equals money. The less time people are out of the workplace. If a 3-day course can become a 2-day course because you're applying some of these principles, then that's a very, very valuable way of providing more value in a training setting. Thank you.